Hi, first period. It's Miss Mac. I'm here for your final video of the year. I know you're sad because this is our last real week of school before finals week. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen with you guys, go over a couple things. I hope you're doing well. All right, let's do this. Okay, cool. So it's almost summer. We have a few more weeks. I'm ready. I don't know about you. This last quarter has been a tough one. All right. So you don't have any official class work this week. It's all extra credit or making up any work that you haven't done yet for fourth quarter. So we finished a Mice and Men. Yay. I hope you guys like the ending. I'll go over the classwork in a second. I'll go over the optional extra credit as well. Don't forget your daily Mac challenges. It's such an easy way to get extra credit if you post more than once, and I'll have office hours Tuesday and Thursday. I also wanted to talk about grades. I think you've probably already heard about this from the district, but I wanted to go over it anyway. So Pasadena's policy, Pasadena Unified and Marshall too, is that no student can fail for this semester. So even if you had like a 20% third quarter, you still can't fail. And for me, at least for English, I'm not sure about your other teachers, I will not drop your grade below what you had third quarter. So that was right when we went into distance learning around the 13th. So the last thing you did for me was the giver essay. And that's the last thing that like I will hold you 100% accountable for doing. So if you have a 0 on that, I don't know, we can talk. So I do want to say though that for my own reference, I want to know which students did do a lot of work during distance learning for whatever the reason is. I know we have all different challenges, and I know that some students just chose not to do any work during this time because they knew their grade wouldn't go down. So I'm going to keep in Aries the 0s, but you'll notice that sometimes I make them worth less points, so it doesn't hurt your grade as much. So let's say that you had a C, 75% third quarter, and your grade's gone down to like a 45%, an F. Even though it will show the F on Aries with all your 0s, I will still, on your report card, the final one that matters for the semester, I'll put the C. So if you're not sure about that, let me know, because it can definitely be confusing, but no one can get below a D in any class. And I just want to say thank you to those of you who have been consistently doing work. I have between like 4 and 10 of you that have been doing the Mice and Men work, have been doing my daily Mac challenges, and just shine to you guys. You guys are awesome. And not only that, I think you all increased your grades so much. Like some of you went up like 20 percentage points during distance learning, and that's awesome. Like, way to take advantage of it. I'm so proud of you. So if you have any more grade questions, let me know, okay? All right, I'm doing my video right now, so I'll put this there. But again, no new classwork this week, no Monday post, but I will go over the end of the book in case you had any questions. And then again, there are extra credit assignments. They're due Tuesday, 26th, which would have been our finals day in class. Remember, we have like only 2 periods a day and they're longer. I might schedule like a Google Meet that day if you want to come say hi, but there isn't any official assignment or final or test. It would have been your roots final if we'd been in school, but we're not. And then I unfortunately couldn't find the whole of Mice and Men film for you all. So I just pulled the 10 clips from YouTube for the 1992 version. This like hits most of the main ideas though. So for the extra credit, you can use these unless somehow you actually can find a copy of the film. I don't want to make you pay for it. That's ridiculous. But it is out there. There's also one from like 1930 or something. You can watch that one if you want, but that's not the best one. All right. And also, I just want to say congratulations. I know this was kind of a bummer way to end the year, but you guys made it. I'm still not sure what Marshall will be doing for the 8th grade graduation, but hopefully there'll be something. I know the 8th grade teachers have been talking. Just know good luck in high school next year. You guys all grew a lot this year and improved. So I know it can be like a little demoralizing ending this way, but remember everything you learned and keep doing what you're doing next year in 9th grade. And I'll see you then. But first, let me go over your other classwork. So last week, chapters 5 and 6, they were a little short, so we did them together. Some of you found some really good evidence, like why Curly wants to shoot Lenny after Lenny strangles his wife, obviously. And Curly's like, shoot him in the guts. He's like, I want to shoot that bastard. And he like goes to get Carlson's Luger, which is like a gun from World War II, a pistol, which we find out later that George stole the gun to shoot Lenny. That's why Carlson can't find it. But Curly like wants revenge. He already has hated Lenny. Lenny broke his hand. Of course, he's like been waiting for a reason to go after Lenny. The reason Lenny feels guilty and confused about what he did to Curly's wife, because it was an accident, but he definitely knew he did a bad thing. I would say we definitely have some foreshadowing, but also that moment when he's down in the brush where George told him to go, like, go hide in the brush if you do anything wrong. He starts imagining his Aunt Clara, right? Like hallucinating her or the other rabbit. It's so strange. He starts talking to this rabbit, but that's just like his guilty conscience, like talking to him. Like we all have conversations in our head, and Steinbeck just chooses to give Lenny this imaginary rabbit to kind of talk to. It's a really sad ending. I know. Every year, like my kids cry when we watch this. It's awful when we read it. Everyone's really sad. And then Slim tries to comfort George. Like Slim understands why George what he did, why he killed Lenny. He's heard about what happened in Weed with the other girls, so he just tries to say like you had to do it. You know, sometimes we had to. That's really the best Slim can do. So why do you think George decided to shoot Lenny? A lot of you had really good answers for this. I think that Lenny either would have been shot by Curly, or they would have put him in an insane asylum or something. They could have beaten him up first. It could have been really rough. And George is like, he doesn't want his friend to go through this. He'd rather just take him out himself than have Lenny suffer. Plus, like they could come after George too. They know they're friends. So like George's life could be at risk. And also like this to me, when Candy tells George that he should have shot his own dog when Carlson shoots Candy's dog, he's like, I should have shot my own dog, George. I think George like takes that to heart. So he wants to be the one to kill Lenny, even though that's not what he really wants to do. I do think he made the right choice. I mean, you can disagree with that or not. Some people say like, why couldn't they have run away and like gotten their farm? Like, who cares? Lenny had already halfway run away. And I think that's a fair point. Like, we don't really know, but I think that George knows that things like this might keep happening with Lenny, trouble. And I think Steinbeck does it on purpose to like say something about the American dream. Like we know that they have this dream of owning their farm, just like many people have dreams, and they don't always come true. And we'd like to think that they do, but sometimes they don't. It can be really challenging. So I think he just purposefully doesn't include a happy ending, but I know it's not very cheery, especially at the end of the school year. And then again, we see all this foreshadowing that's been through the novel actually like play out. So like George tells Lenny to hide in the brush if he ever gets into trouble. He strangles Curly's wife and he immediately at least remembers and goes down there to hide. We learn that in the past, Lenny got in trouble for pinning a girl's red dress. We see him pet Curly's wife's hair, and then it gets out of control and he breaks her neck. And then that's the climax of the novel that puts everything else into play. Curly admits to George that he should have shot his own dogs. This is what I just said. Like, or no, that's a typo. I'm so sorry. It should be Candy. You guys answered that correctly though. But Candy realizes that like he shouldn't have let Carlson do it. And then George has been playing solitaire throughout the whole novel. And it's literally a game that he's going to be alone, or that you play alone. So literally this whole novel, they've been hints that George is going to end up by himself. Unfortunately for him. So that's the end of the book. I know it's really sad, but it's a classic. There's even like a Key and Peele sketch about it if you find it on YouTube. And there's some other like it's a famous book. So now at least if you've read it, you'll understand all the references to Of Mice and Men and to Lenny now, because it is like everybody read it in middle school. So it's definitely a classic. And then again, for this week, you just have extra credit if you want. You don't have to. It's totally optional. Please just make sure everything's in your own words. I still catch a lot of people copying and pasting from the internet. It shows up and I just won't get points. So you have 3 options, choose one, and you can get up to 15 points of credit depending on how much you do. So you can watch the film clips in the slides from the 1992 version. And I'm only gonna let you do this option if you've done all your Of Mice and Men classwork. Like in order to compare to the film, you need to have read the whole book. So if you haven't done all the questions, you can do the other 2, but if you haven't done chapters 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, you can't do option A. So answer the questions below. Do the characters look and act like what you imagined? Maybe sometimes when you're reading, you have this picture in your head and then they look totally different in the movie. And then you're going to choose 1 to 2 characters other than Curly's wife to explain, did they look and act like you thought from the book? Try to be as detailed as you can. What did you think of the ending of the film? Not like, do you like what Steinbeck wrote, but compared to the book, was it like how you imagined? Like for me, I think it goes a lot faster in the movie. And that's because probably people already know what happened. So they wanted to like still make it suspenseful. Like in the book, he has the hallucination and all that stuff. And in the movie, they just like cut that all out and George shoots him. And then in the film, I read that Curly's wife was meant to be more of a sympathetic character. Like in the book, nobody really likes her or feels bad for her, but they wanted to change that in the film. And I'm curious if you think they did a good job. So specifically clips 3 and 7 kind of show this new side of Curly's wife, that wasn't in the book. And then you can compare that to chapters 2, 4, and 5 in the novel. So that's one option. Option B is to focus on the ending of the book. So if you read chapter 6 and probably chapter 5, what do you think happened after the end of the book? So after he shoots Lenny and goes back to the ranch, does he stay there? Does he leave? What does he do? So write at least 10 sentences describing what he does or where he goes. This can be like creative writing, like you can keep writing in Steinbeck's style with dialogue, or you can just like write a paragraph explaining. And then option C is about the title of the book. It's 2 parts. Why do you think the novel is called Of Mice and Men? Again, don't just Google it and look it up. You can use that to help you, but try to think about why. And then what do you think would be a better name for the book? And just explain in 3 to 4 complete sentences. So again, you can do one of these 3 if you want, finish the year strong, get that extra credit, make up any other late assignments that you need. Please reach out with any questions. Again, office hours are Tuesday, Thursday from 2 to 2:30, and then I'll probably do a final one that Tuesday of finals in the morning. You guys are awesome. Thanks for a good year. It's been a while since I've taught 8th grade. I don't think I'm going to be teaching 8th grade next year. So you guys were just like my quick little group. First period, you guys had to deal with me at my grumpiest. Good job. Just keep remembering what you learned this year. Do it in high school. High school is what matters so much. You guys rock. Keep in touch if you need anything. Bye.